this press conference might be the end of Donald Trump. That is at least what a lot of people have thought when Donald Trump announced that he was going to go live on Fox News for a press conference. What then happened was possible the strangest we have seen Donald Trump in the current presidential campaign in what could be described as a public meltdown. This rambling press conference is what Donald Trump looks like when he is losing. During his Mar-a-Lago press conference, Trump seemed confused, backed into the corner, angry, and broken. In this, likely damaging press conference, the former president continued to make false claims about the 2020 election, displays his crowd-size insecurity, and mixes up California politicians in Weird Kamala Harris Story. Donald Trump's spontaneous press conference was riddled with lies. He claimed that his crowd size was bigger than Martin Luther King Jr.'s March on Washington, but it wasn't even close. The Congressional John 6 Committee pegged Trump's crowd at 53,000 people, about one-fifth of the 250,000 who were estimated to be at King's famous address from the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. One could give Trump the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he is experiencing a senior moment. However, Trump kept on claiming, "I've spoken to the biggest crowds. Nobody's spoken to crowds bigger than me," he lied.
Nobody's spoken to crowds bigger than me. If you look at Martin Luther King, when he did his speech, his great speech, and you look at ours, same real estate, same everything, and you look at it, and you look at the picture of his crowd, my crowd, we actually had more people.
He claimed that Democrats want to gut Social Security, which they don't, but Republicans are actually trying to. He claimed that no one died on January 6th when, in fact, 4 of his own supporters died from the events, including Ashley Babbitt, whom Trump and his allies attempted to morph into a MAGA martyr. But possibly the weirdest lie that Trump told Thursday was a tall tale about nearly dying in a helicopter crash with Vice President Kamala Harris's old boyfriend, former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown.
Well, I know Willie Brown very well. In fact, I went down in a helicopter with him. We thought maybe this is the end. We were in a helicopter going to a certain location together, and there was an emergency landing. This was not a pleasant landing, and Willie was, he was a little concerned. So I know him pretty well. I mean, I haven't seen him in years. But he told me terrible things about her. But this is what you're telling me anyway, I guess. But he had a big part in what happened with Kamala. But he I don't know, maybe he's changed his tune, but he was not a fan of hers very much at that point.
Mayor Willie Brown, for his part, denied ever riding in a helicopter alongside Trump, or nearly dying in one, for that matter.
Donald Trump is talking about you today.
That's what I heard. I heard that he was doing what Donald does best.
Which is?
His creativity fictional.
You know me well enough to know that if I almost went down in a helicopter with anybody, you would have heard about it, he told the New York Times shortly after the press conference, affirming his support for Harris.
I was a part of every campaign that she's ever been involved in. Supported her religiously, and will still do so. And I am just looking forward for the next 89 days. I just can't wait to get her in as president.
Outside of the MAGA world, this press conference was largely interpreted as a train wreck. It also was another instance where Donald Trump started displaying serious signs of aging, being the oldest presidential candidate ever. However, Fox News reporter Jesse Waters claimed that this press conference was flawless and a flawless performance, clearly displaying a biased via. Donald Trump's spokesperson Caroline Leavitt called the campaign disciplined Thursday after one of the most chaotic press conferences he's had so far. During an appearance on Fox News, Leavitt praised the Trump team's supposedly controlled efforts against Vice President Kamala Harris, just as Trump gave a wild press conference from Mar-a-Lago. But Trump was anything but disciplined during his meandering rant. Thursday, as he ricocheted between making wild claims about his crowd sizes and weak excuses for his lackluster week of campaigning. In one afternoon, Trump seemingly flip-flopped on whether he would agree to debate Harris, going from not debating her at all to offering 3 dates. And maybe worst of all, he doubled down on his racist rhetoric about false claims that Harris only recently brought up her black heritage. Overall, it really comes across as he has become unhinged by having to compete with Kamala Harris for the presidency, and the early enthusiasm, joy, and hype behind Kamala Harris, and many expert claims that the worst of Trump is yet to come as he starts feeling more and more backed into a corner.